Okay, so Erica, just as I said, I would count down, and we are here on Waking God's Child YouTube channel. And for all of my people out there that are on this channel and subscribers, I would like to introduce my guest host, Erica. She has been a really close, good friend of mine for a while. Erica, tell them how you found me originally so that they can kind of know our background history.
Marfugal fam.
Marfugal fam. So there you go. So I was actually on Marfugal TV. Was it the news or the TV? I can't even remember which one. But I was on Marfugal News, or I think it was news. And Erica was one of the subscribers, and they had given my link to my channel. And Erica was so sweet and kind, and she thought, you know what, I'm going to go check her out. So you did, right? And here she is.
I am.
Hey. So she is a sweetheart. She has a lot of things in common with a lot of us Morgellons survivors. That's what I call us. And she's noticing every day the awakening that comes upon us all and the changes that we endure and that we see in not only just our lives, but our reality, just all of our surroundings, correct?
Okay. Oh, yes.
And I am going
the non-surroundings.
The non-surroundings. There you go. That was a good one. So that was actually really clever. There you go. So good job. I'm going to do my very best because I already know how this goes. I do not want to talk over you. I do not want to trump what you're saying. And I do not want people to say, if you want something non-interrupted, come to me. Because it's hurtful. And I cried a bucket of tears today. So
hell yeah, that was not cool.
Yeah, well, as we know how Satan works in mysterious ways, and we're human at the end of the day. We cry, but I mean, we're all human. We make mistakes. I get that. But what I want to say is never, ever is it my intention to take away from people like you that are worthy and deserving of speaking. So with that said, when did you first notice that things in your life had changed? Because I wanted to remind my crowd here and people on the channel, you did not start out with Morgellons like a lot of us do. That's our awakening. So would you tell us your story, please?
Sure. I started out noticing that dust was walking in my house and crawling around up on my ceiling, on the door panels, like just moving around on a mind of its own. And I'm like, this is really freaky. Like, I was up a lot of nights because I didn't want it to fall on me or, it was just everywhere. Like, it just like consumed my house. Like, it just took over. And I'm like, this is not okay. Like, never is it okay. So I was dusting, like crazy, right? Like, what the heck do? You got to get it out. I don't want my kids to have it. Like, I was worried for my family. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I mean, I'm a warrior. I can handle it. But my children, they don't need to have, those nasty things in their body at all. Yeah. Like, it's not appropriate. So I was up freaking out, like wandering around like a mad woman, like getting it off my wall. I'm short. So I had to like use the tall duster thing and, and then I'm like videotaping it because, no one's going to believe me, right? Like, dust doesn't walk or talk or whatever you want to call it. So, no one's going to believe me. They're going to think I'm loony or something. So I'm like, well, I have to videotape it. So that's exactly what I did. And then after that, I started noticing, how do I say this? How do I start? So many things.
Can I stop you for 1 second?
Yeah.
I want to ask you this question, though, because this intrigues me. Before Marfugal News, when you saw me on their channel and you were like, I'm going to subscribe to her channel, did you ever know anything about this, or did you start hearing me talk about it and then that's when you started noticing? I'm just curious if it was something you noticed beforehand, or if if I manifested that for you, so to speak, because I sure hope not. I don't want to be responsible for that.
No, I just think you're on I just saw your messaging, like, when he has like, we're all the message on the fam thing, like we do here.
I was actually on the channel though. I mean,
he just shouted you out, or you called in.
I was the call. Yeah, I was the caller.
You called in, and then he shouted you out, and I'm like, oh, yeah. I like waking God's child. I'm like, that
But
sounds
you
like
didn't
me
notice
too.
the fibers and stuff before me.
No,
So that's why I was
no, but
like,
it's
geez, I hope I'm not the reason you had to see those or endure those. There's something to this though. But
no, we're all connected. Yeah.
you were waking up, weren't you? You were in the
Oh
process of
yeah.
waking up.
Oh, my liver surgery, and before that, like I had a heartbreak. Then I had a liver surgery when I was died, and I came back in my body. And then after that, I was different. I was like, okay, all right. Like,
Oh,
you know,
okay. See, that's what
the
I'm
world is
wondering.
different. Like the world is
Yeah.
not the same. And I'm like, so
See,
do
that's what I
different
noticed.
things. Like do different things. You know, act a
Mhm.
different way. Like people are. Then all of a sudden, people are out of my life. Like it disappeared. Like gone. And then
Right. All of them. That's
all of a
right.
sudden, and then I cut people off too. I'm like, you know what? You're not making me happy. You're not,
Yeah.
doing anything good for me. I'm just going to cut you out of my life too. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, you're
Thank
smart. What you did as far as cutting people off and saying, because you know what's healthy and what's not unhealthy for your soul and your spirit and your emotional needs. So, and I think a lot of us come to terms with that eventually or do it right away. So good for you. You were smart in that aspect. And you're right. Like we end up all alone, kind of, with nobody understanding. But with that said, we have each other. And here you are. And you heard me as a caller on Marfugal. And I'm hoping that that's not the reason that you started seeing all the fibers and bundles in your house. But what I'm thankful for is that you're awake, you're of sound mind, you're speaking the truth, and you're telling your story. And that's amazing to me.
Oh
So
yeah, I don't hold back. And
good
if
for
people
you.
if people can't handle the truth, then step off. Like I really don't have time. Like there's no time. Like the time is running
Right.
out. That if haven't you noticed this time every day has gone by faster and faster and faster and
Oh my
faster.
goodness, girl, you're right.
Like wake up,
Fast.
like really fast. It's already dinner
Yeah.
time. I thought it was only
Thank you for
lunchtime.
saying that. Because I mean,
What is
yes, like
going
I don't know
on?
where it goes.
And they
Yeah.
have said that the earth is going at a faster rate, and it is true. And I mean it's obvious. I mean, just look at your clock during the day. Like, oh, it's already time to go home. Like, let's say if you go to work and you're like,
That
oh,
was me today. Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's already time to go. Like the day's over. Like
Yeah.
what?
My
Like
alarm went off this morning. I'm like, it's 5 a.m. I just went to sleep. So, but I mean,
exactly.
that's pretty typical, right? But I mean, like literally today, I mean, and I run surveillance as a private investigator. So when you're sitting there, it's very boring. You're on your butt, you're holding a video camera a lot. But when that goes by fast, you know something's wrong.
Oh
So,
yeah, because you're like, what
right?
the heck is going on?
So what happened next with you after noticing that and thinking, how do I clean this? How does this not get inside my children? How do I save my family? What happened after that?
Then I contacted you because I was like,
Yeah,
I
you're
know, I
so
know,
sweet.
yeah, because I was like, I've seen it on your channel. I'm like, I've seen those fiber things walking and talking, and I'm like, they have a world of their own, and I'm like, okay, I'm not alone. Maybe she has ideas,
No.
and then
I
all of a
knew right
sudden,
away. I'm like, bless her heart. She just woke up. She woke up.
and then
So
my foot, like I was like noticing a big like thing like that big on my ankle, like
fiber or like a lesion?
a lesion, I think, and it was moving, and it moved down my entire leg all the way down,
Oh,
and
you're
I'm
talking
like,
about the ropeworm type movement, right? Like
yeah,
take inside your body. Yeah.
and I'm like, oh
Bizarre, huh?
hell no. I'm like, no, 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 this is not happening, and I
Uh-uh.
and I videotaped that. I'm not. And then there's some on my forehead, to having
Yeah.
a little
Big.
dance up in here, and I'm like, this is not. I'm like, here we go, and I'm like, okay,
Pack your bags. We're going on a trip.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, Lisa, what do I do? And bless Lisa's heart, she's like, go to the feed store and pick up these and drink this and
Get
do
your
this.
ivermectin. I was saying that before. Ever the C to the O to the V to
You
the I
did
to the V. I mean, and here we are, 15 million steps ahead of the diaper face thing, right?
Oh
It's
yeah.
funny, isn't it? It's kind of all ties in, even that.
And
But
I took it
it's
with
like a
peanut
little
butter.
secret we already know.
People were
What
like,
was that?
oh, I ate it with peanut butter. Like I put the white stuff and I like mixed it around with peanut butter and I ate it. It didn't taste very
It
good,
doesn't
mind
taste
you.
good.
But you know, things
I
can
just do it
kill.
all at once by itself.
And then I guess we
Makes
could die
sense.
from it. I guess we could die from it, but I'm
Well,
still
I mean, it's
here.
made for horses. It comes in a big
Yes,
tube. That's why you do
it
it
does.
toothpaste size according to weight. So yeah, but I mean, I'm not a doctor. I would never recommend that, and I didn't actually recommend it to you. I told you what I did. So,
Yes,
and you were a brave soul, and it does help. And here we are, diaper face later, and everybody's doing it. So what do you know? Morgellons people are right. But
exactly. Here we are. Like,
so that
oh my
probably
gosh.
saved you from starting that as soon as you did, because a lot of us that had this for years didn't know to do that beforehand. And actually, mine was a fluke thing. I was at the feed store. I'm like, please, Lord, help me. I can't afford the doctor, and they're not going to help me anyway. And I was looking at all these things on the shelf. I'm like, you know what? That looks like it might work. And then the DMSO looks like it might work. And I just grabbed a bundle of DMSO.
Oh yeah, then I
100%.
like put
Yeah.
the stuff all over my body, and my family's like,
Yeah.
"You're gonna kill yourself," and I'm like, "No, I'm not." I'm like, no.
Anything's better than this, right? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, it is scary what we endure, right? But I still would never recommend or say that's what you need to do. I'm not a doctor. This is what I did. That's what Erica did. And we're alive and well. And I am almost lesion free with the exception of that. Did you ever get the lesions? Like,
Not
hopefully
yet,
that saved you from that.
I
The
think
open
so, but
wounds, when I say that, like open wounds.
no, not yet. But I still feel them like in my body, like buzzing around, like the vibration of them, like moving. It's
Yeah,
gross, and I don't wish it upon anybody. Like knowing that there's something foreign in your body that should not
shouldn't
be
be there.
there, and
Yeah.
and it hasn't come out of me. I mean, I go to the bathroom and it comes out. I mean, I do see
Yeah.
that a lot. Like I'm like, what
I
is?
think that's
And
where
you
a
can see
lot of
them.
us notice. Yeah.
You can see them like having babies, or like they like have the little
Yeah,
baby.
babies upon babies in your
Yeah,
body. I know it's sad, and I'm way past the shyness or that, like, all of my, like, ladylike things had to go out the window along with Morgellons. Like, we tell it like it is now, right? It's like,
oh
I went
yeah,
to the bathroom. It should not have been there, and that's what was going on. They were making love in the toilet, right?
they were,
Anyway,
and I'm like,
it's
what
a
is that
horror
thing
story of its
crawling out of
own.
there? It is.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I guess thank God it's out of me now. You know, they're slowly coming out of me that way. But I mean,
Yeah.
I can still feel them like at night, especially. It's bad, and I haven't been sleeping very well at night because
Yeah, that's
it's
the first
they
thing to go.
they
Yeah,
keep you
it'll get
up.
better.
I mean, because it's annoying. Like they just buzz around, and you're like, get out of
Yeah, you can
me!
hear
Like
them and feel it. You can literally hear them, right?
yes, they're like tick
Yeah.
tick 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 tick.
And my sister one day told me she feels like there's gnats or something buzzing in her ear. And I knew what it was. And I mean, she knew what I was going through. And I told her a million times that those things had happened. And here she is admitting to me she's got this buzzing or like these gnats or something that she can feel or hear, but she thinks her ears are just ringing, but it sounds like bugs. And I'm just looking at her like, okay, we told you so, but okay, whatever floats your boat makes you sleep all at night. But we both know that we all have Morgellons, and you are showing the symptoms of it. And what's next? And what's it going to take? You got to get carried away by a like big old huge fly or something? Like, what's next? But we know you can tell
exactly.
people all you want, and family members don't. They just don't listen. They don't want to hear it.
No.
Whether it's scary to them, I'm sure, or whether they're just like, that's crazy. That because we have grown up in a cognitive type dissonance with a systematic process that we use to introduce the human nature into this world. It's a system, and people don't want to see that, do they? I mean,
No,
they don't want to
denial.
see the truth. So
Denial.
very much so. And I mean, I get it. I mean, I was there once. I would have never probably ever. I mean, I don't know if I'd ever not believed my family, though, knowing they'd be sane for like a million years, and then all of a sudden, like, people don't just wake up crazy saying this stuff, and especially like 700,000 throughout the world, right?
Oh
That's not
yeah.
coincidence. So you started
Or
seeing the orbs shortly after that. Would you like to tell us about that?
yeah. So then I was seeing like flashes of light, and I've seen them more lately. Like even like by the corner of my eye, like I'll see like a white thing. Then I'll see like on my clothes like a fluttery like red, like a light, like a
Like a
LED,
flash almost, right?
like a flashlight on my clothes, and I'm like, oh great, here we go. And then like a normal, just like sometimes they're blue, sometimes they're green,
red.
I mean, and then like it looks like smoke sometimes too, so I'm like, great, here we go.
Oh, you
like,
experienced that. You're the first person I've heard aside of myself that experiences the smoke thing too.
I was like, because I was like
Wow.
last night, I was like, what is that? I'm like, that is like way over my altar, or I'm like, those candles shouldn't have that much smoke, right? I'm like,
Where'd that come from?
And even right now, like a little tea light candle, like they're not, the big massive candle, like the small,
Yeah,
little
just
itty
little.
bitty. Yeah, and I'm like looking over at my right now too, and they're like heavily smoking up right now, and I'm like, okay, so I know the angels and ancestors are there over there, which that's my ancestor
We
altar.
have angels all among us.
Oh yeah, thank goodness, because man,
We have Raymond here with us, by the way.
Hi Raymond.
Hi Raymond. Glad you're back tonight, as he was there last night as well. And you're a blessing. You're a warrior too. He says we're blessing. You're a blessing because you're here. You're alive. You're fighting, and you're willing, and you're trying, and there's nothing more than a warrior described in any other way than that right there. So we are just all lucky to have one another, I believe, right?
Oh
But
yeah,
Eric,
the
your whole
humiliation.
story intrigues me because most of us come here because, well, we woke up with Morgellons one day before we saw the orbs or the flying, fibers walk off or hang around. I mean, a lot of us started like that, including myself. But you're different, and then there's others a lot like you too. But I like this because you're the first person I personally met to go ahead and put this out there to other Morgellons people that Morgellons isn't the cause. The UFOs are not the cause. The orbs aren't the cause. This all intertwines. She didn't have the symptoms of Morgellons. She wasn't seeing those signs yet. Let's put it like that. Because in my opinion, it's inevitable. It's all in all of us. But you started with seeing the flying. Like I remember in New Mexico that like I'd shake a blanket out and all the little what most people call dust would fly, but they'd all go in different directions. Like not the same, just like up and down. They're like one's over there, they're over there, and they're flying everywhere like bugs almost, right? And I'm a little girl and I remember that. So you noticed the bundles of fibers are hanging out, or like you said, on your ceilings, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, my kids, and they're moving and you can see it, but nobody else will listen. And then from there, you started noticing with your body and feeling the inside. And from there, it was the orbs next, or the lights that you saw. And then you started noticing the sky last, right? Where like that.
Yeah. Like I was
one
like
of the first things I noticed.
Oh yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. There's a UFO like right across the street above my neighbor's house.
Yeah.
And I'm
You
like,
sent it to me.
I sent it to Lisa. I'm like, one. I'm like, here we go.
Yep,
I'm like,
you're awake.
Constant helicopters flying low over my house. Constant.
Me too. That was the next thing.
Vibrating my house.
Not a lot of people get that, but I get that. You get that. The black helicopters and the small aircraft like airplanes are.
Yes.
But the helicopters the most, and then the airplanes. So you get that too. Interesting. What about you, Raymond?
Yeah, Raymond, do you get it too?
Do you get the helicopters flying? Have you noticed a lot of helicopters flying low over you, or small airplanes constantly buzzing? Or how about the black and white shiny vehicles that seemingly are everywhere where you go? Or
yes,
curious.
Lately.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm like, I know I've been getting gang stalked. I know I'm getting my phone hacked. I know I'm getting my identity messed with. I know I'm getting threats. It's a constant daily battle. Along with having things in my body that shouldn't be in there, along with
that's where I want you to remember here.
Yeah.
Put this all together. Just think about what happened first, what happened second, how it never happened before, right? So this is just me with my opinion. You throw the gang stalking in, that is all part of the phenomenon, the ultimate phenomenon, being not just Morgellons, not just gang stalking, not just UFOs, not just crawling fibers, and not just Loch Ness Monster, or not just Bigfoot, which in Washington and Oregon, where I'm going to go see you, not just that. It is all there of a spiritual nature, wouldn't you say? If you think about
Oh,
it in
yeah.
that way, like how all of a sudden all these things are noticed. It's not just one thing, but we're seeing a lot of things. It might start somewhere, but it's an awakening. It's an awakening in its own element and its own
Pandora's
right, I
box has been
guess.
open. So, there's a lot
That's
of stuff in
right.
Pandora's box. So you don't know what you're going to get. You can get a Bigfoot, you can get
That's
UFOs,
like
you
a
can
grab
get
bag, but I didn't want to grab any of it.
you could get, a human
So
and
I
a pig
have to
in a
grab
hit.
another.
Exactly.
It's so
Or
bad. So no, don't make me. I love
exactly.
that you're telling that part because a lot of people don't understand that all those elements either follow or were already there or are soon to come.
Oh, and
So
then there's a ton of them like above like my house, UFOs, like packs, like
all
a
the time.
herd, like all the time. Like
And
they're just
everyone's like,
hanging
well,
out.
what's so special about you? Why would they would just be there? And thank you for saying that because that is part of the awakening also. It's like it's not necessarily that we're special. We are warriors and Satan does work overtime on us because there's a lot of trials, but I think those things in the sky, because we don't have enough funds, tax-paying dollars to ever possibly hire enough people to go target each and every single one of us. It's just impractical. It wouldn't make sense, right? Or
Oh
we don't
yeah.
have enough, maybe aliens even, to just put packs of UFOs, not just now. I mean, they would have done it in the past too, just like that. But it's happening now. So that's what tells me that maybe it's not the government. Maybe maybe it's not it. Maybe this is a spiritual warfare, just as the Bible had it in words and it had as it was written, with Satan being the greatest magician of all here on earth and the ruler and the leader of the principalities of evil in the air, and kind of all makes sense to me, you know?
Oh yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know why people haven't really pieced that because it's not just, you're not going to just be here and be, I'm going to advocate against Morgellons. I mean, if you are, that's great because people need to know about it, but it's not just one thing, people. It's not. It's a lot.
No.
Here's Erica. She didn't have Morgellons first, and that was the whole point of this interview tonight. So please tell us more about like what
Oh
you've
yes.
experienced with your family and stuff.
Well, I don't really have a family, so I've been a lone wolf my entire life. Pretty much, I raised myself,
Me
which is
now.
really sad because I mean, my mom and my sister bullied me. My dad was at work all the time. He didn't really care. He didn't want to be a part of it. He did not want to be a part of it. Like he didn't want nothing to do with it.
My dad was kicking at me when I was belly crawling. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, and then my sister and my mom, I would get bullied at home, bullied at school. So then I had to, escape from that. So I would, draw, color. I didn't do drugs or anything. I stayed by myself. I was always misunderstood, so people thought, oh, she's kind, so she must be a weak person, or let's
No,
just
you
take
thought
advantage of her.
you're a deep
Huh?
thinker. Deep thinker, weren't
Yeah.
you?
And I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I guess that's a target, right? So I was targeted for having a big
Okay.
heart, and and for caring about people and like putting others first, because that's a bad thing.
Or
But
they'd say drama if you said something. Like, you're just making drama because your heart's that big, right? And my whole
or
family.
or my mom would be like, "Oh, you're just oversensitive. You're just over emotional." Well, at
Guilty.
least I'm like, "Wow, okay. Well, remember you had me, and this is who I am. Like I'm a product of you, and
You
so
should
I'll just,
love me for who I am.
yeah, like don't." But then she was doing black magic on me and wanting me dead. I mean, my own mom, my own
Wait, what?
sister.
She
Yeah,
actually was into black magic?
yeah. What I've been finding out,
That's
my dad, my
interesting.
mom, my sister, my cousins. My cousin wanted to be me. So yeah, we have copycats out there, people. So people want to copycat us and take
Yeah.
our identity and steal our money and totally thrash us, because why not? Because I'm not doing it. I'm not harming anybody. I'm just to myself, which is
Well, I can already tell you what's going on there, but let me ask you and this is important too. With this black magic, is that something that has been in the family genes for years, or did your mom just dabble in it and suddenly became inquisitive of it and then got into it? How did that start?
I,
Because that kind of stuff follows a family heritage. So I'm just
oh yeah.
curious.
So what I'm thinking is she paid a lot of people, because she's a greedy, vain, narcissistic person. So
Got a
she knows
beautiful daughter.
it's all about money and what she looks like on the outside and what she can get for herself. So she will pay, I think, anybody to do anything. So, I mean, my own family, my own cousin, like, beat me up in a freaking restaurant. Like, and I didn't make a scene because I'm not the type of person, like, I'm a higher up person. I think I was in a foreign country too. And I'm like, you're doing it on your twins' birthday and you're beating your cousin up. And his youngest daughter was like in between. So he was like, so it was kind of making like and they were all drinking, everybody was drunk on the table but me. And I'm like, they're not even paying attention to what's going on with me anyway, right? They could care less. So, and his youngest daughter would like come in and out of the table and like try and like, and then he would like punch me like 9 times in my arm. And I'm like, and it hurt. My arm hurt for like 2 weeks, by the way. And I was like, I didn't make a scene. I mean, why would I was in a foreign country. I'm not going to make a scene in a restaurant. I have more class than that, first of all. And second of all, I was shocked and like, wow, like, you're doing it on your twins' birthday in a restaurant. And then afterwards, everybody went back to the condos and we're like drinking it up. And I'm like, my daughter and my niece came in and they're like, Erica, why aren't you hanging out with us? And I'm like, first of all, I'm not going to hang out with someone that just beat me up in a restaurant. Second of all, I'm okay by myself. Like, and no one came to check on me. No one came to see how I was doing. No one cared where I was. I was alone I wanted to go home so bad. Like, I was crawling.
I feel your pain. I do. I'm sorry.
I was like, get me out of here.
That was me when I woke up in that, facility after 3 days after they took me away. I'm like, nobody loves me. Who's going to come get me? They don't care if I'm alive or dead. And to this day, nobody calls. No, my sister doesn't call. My brother doesn't call. Nobody calls. They don't just say, hey, how you doing? You feeling better? They never asked me once how I felt. And I bet you got that, didn't you? Never cared how you felt. And hey, by the way, no Jean Jackin is on here. Looks like she's in Washington. She said she had gang stalkers followed her from California to, Virginia. I lived in Virginia. I thought it was Washington because that's what these are for. I lived in Virginia Beach for 6 years, but she sounds a lot like you from what I'm reading when you get a chance to see that. But hello to you guys anyway. So, Erica, I'm sorry you went through that. I know that hurt. It hurts so bad. And you're a beautiful soul. They weren't beating you up because you're bad. They were beating you up because they're hurting themselves. And why not take it out on the most beautiful person that's actually a good-hearted one, right? So it doesn't make sense. I'm saying that in all sarcasm. So.
Oh yeah, I'm like, it's okay. And he's a Catholic, so he's very Catholic-y guy. And I'm like, wow, are you gonna go repent now? I'm like, so you're gonna go repent what you just did.
Of God.
Yeah. God, you have to see God, dude. I'm like, it's okay. God saw it all. Our ancestors saw it all. I go, my spirit guide saw it all, and so it's okay. I'm like,
your heart saw it all too.
Like, exactly. I'm like, it's okay. I'm good. I'm not gonna stoop down to your low level to please you because I'm not down for that.
Trust me. Yeah. Like some days I'm like, oh, you better run. I'm coming after you. Yeah, it is hard though. But good for you for keeping your cool and your patience and not stooping to that level, because this is not an easy thing to deal with. None of this, not the ores, not the fibers, not the Morgellons, none of it is, because we're constantly being poked fun of, not believed, disregarded, or left for dead, right? So,
I think my mom, messages me just to see if I'm still alive, quite honestly. And I'm like,
more than I get. Well, my mom does that because she's 6 years old, I guess.
It's like fake, like, oh, how's your day going today? And I'm like,
where were you back then, right? I bet you're thinking that.
And then I tell her, not good, been threatened today, about my pictures being out over the world, they want money, like it's a great day, Mom. How's your day going? Just good. Block them. Just block them and delete them. I'm like, yeah, duh. Like, I know what I'm doing.
Simplistic advice all the time.
I'm not 5 years old. Like, I'm 46. Like, I'm well aware of how to do my phone and how to block people and delete things. I'm not stupid. I go, so, and it just makes me even more. I'm like, oh, but you just wanted to see if your magic worked. And, oh, well, it did not work. I'm still here. My heart's still going.
Like, this is the fact that she calls you and she's into black magic. I mean, like, that right there, just bless your heart, because you don't know what her motive is when she calls, right? Yeah.
No.
I mean, that
And
would
then
be very hard.
and then she tag teams my sister, right? And my sister messaged me right before we got on here, like treating me like I was 5. Oh, didn't you just block and delete that person? I'm like, how old do you think I
It's
am?
not easy, right?
Do
Like
you think
it's
I'm a toddler
not like
or
we're
something?
stupid, you know? Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not stupid. I know what I'm doing. I was
Mhm.
just asking for help. But again, I got no help. I just got criticism and badgering
You
and
won't
belittling.
never get
And
that from them, dear, but you have you. You
oh
have this
yeah.
graceful, wonderful, courageous you. And you have people like us too, even though we're distant. But you've probably learned by now that you're the ultimate Terminator warrior. You are the ultimate soldier. You got your
Just
full armor on,
come
and
at
they
me
can't
now.
break you.
Just come at me now.
There
And
you
see
go.
what
They
you're gonna
can't break.
get.
You can't be broken, dear. So that's the thing
No.
with all of us out here. We get to a point where we realize we've been hurt so bad, like the worst. Like there's nothing that can be done at this point. Like we don't even fear death. Like I don't fear death.
I
I don't.
already
If someone
died.
put a gun to my head and said it's you or your daughter or somebody else, I'd be like, here you go, just put it in there. I
Just
don't
do it.
fear anymore.
Me either. Like I
There's
already
nothing to
died.
fear though, because when you know who your creator and your savior is, it's like, especially when you see the demonic side and you know how real that is and how scary as shit that, or the things in the sky that shouldn't be happening. All you gotta do is take a look around and you're like, yep, there's definitely a God. There is a creator. There's no doubt because this is happening. So therefore it is. I am that I am is more real than you'll ever know. But he also comes to you in special ways when you just be still and listen, right?
Oh yeah.
No,
Like
Gene Jackson says, I think Morgs is connected to RSA, and I would have to agree for with a lot of that too. Um, geez, there's so many things. It's all interconnected ultimately because I mean,
because
we
we're all
got
energy.
Erica
We're all
here,
energy.
and I've met many others, but RSA, yeah, and I think that has ties into. I mean, good point. Yes. No Gene Jacket. I love the name. No Gene Jacket.
I
Amen.
like that.
Amen. No Gene Jacket. Dang it. GMOs, guys, means genetically modified organisms. Just put that out there once again for the 528th time. So Erica, what are you doing now to comfort yourself and make your body feel better whenever you're emotionally or physically hurting and like you're just lost?
I meditate a lot. Listen to meditation music. A lot of YouTube. I mean,
Truthers, you like the truthers, yeah.
I do. Like
Me too. That's all
I
I
mean,
do.
I barely watch anything else, quite frankly, because I mean,
I
unless
don't watch
there's
anything else
Netflix.
anymore.
I mean,
Yeah.
if there's Netflix, but I mean, I don't really watch the regular TV channels per se because it's all BS
Oh
anyway.
gosh, Netflix and Amazon Prime, like there's like talk about predictive programming, right? It's like
Oh yeah,
there's never a happy ending anymore. And what happened to the nuclear family? What happened to that? It's like there's a he and a he and a she and a she, and there's a adopted this and that, and then there's no happily ever afters with any of them, the he or the she ever, and there's no just mom, pop, and the babies and a happily ever after anymore. And if
there's
that's not
not.
an in-your-face moment to like make people see that they have been literally deconstructed from what they were made to be, and now they are things and people that they were never supposed to be. And it's a scary world, my friends. And I have a daughter like that. And it's a hard pill to swallow because I know that she was deconstructed, literally. So it is hard. It's a hard pill to swallow on all levels. All of this is. And I can't
Oh
judge because
yeah,
look at this whole thing, right? But so
no
well, you look
judgment here.
beautiful, and I think that you're bubbly and happy, and that helps others to see that too. And I think that's a good quality you have on top of your beautiful poetry and the things that
Thank
you
you.
do with that.
I didn't
So
know I could do that. I did not know I could do
it's
that.
beautiful.
Like literally, like I was like, I can write that. Like that came out of this. Like
Yeah.
it flowed, and I'm like, wow, I can write poetry. I can write music. I even got a guitar, but I still need to practice. And
I
I'm
want
like,
to learn how again. I want to learn. I tried. You know
me
what I
too.
think though, Erica? When your whole spirit and soul has been broken to a point that it's like, and there's no way to say it's beyond repair. Like when it's so broken that the only way to repair it is through your own first aid kit, so to speak, being music or poetry, and it's amazing what can come out of a soul. Anyone can write, right? Anyone can take a pen and paper up and just make some stuff rhyme and make it sound okay. But when you, especially when you write with your soul, Candy Nelson, like, oh my goodness. And I have lots of poetry too. I've never read it, but isn't it amazing? Like what you pour that out on paper and it comes alive to others. And what a beautiful thing that is. And by the way, guys, her poem is on my YouTube channel. I can never get the name right. I always want to say the garden or the flowers.
The
in the garden or something like that, right?
Hold on, let me get it. Hold on, I'll get it.
She wrote some beautiful words, and I mean, they were gorgeous. And so I put it to music and into a video, and it is on this channel and on her channel also. But you guys should check it out. It's beautiful the way she writes, and like Candy Nelson with her wolves, and she writes about flowers and weeds, and I mean, she's Louise already. It's like her soul on paper. It's beautiful. I mean, everyone should try that. Good therapy too. That's the way I always used to make myself feel better. Because Lord, I had no friends or no one to listen. So there you go.
The Garden of Toxic Flowers.
There you go. Yeah, read it if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, I won't mind. You guys don't mind, hopefully. Okay. Garden of Toxic Flowers. In my garden, I loved and cared about each flower for being different and beautiful and unique with a different color and smells. But someone planted some fake toxic flowers in my beautiful garden. They took over my gorgeous roses, tulips, mums, the fake, ugly, rude, judgmental flowers.
I love it.
Had no right to ruining my beautiful garden. So I thought how they were impressed with my beautiful garden and wanted to take anything they could out of it by oh my gosh,
I'm gonna have you keep reading, and I'm gonna find it and play it here.
Yeah, by the.
So keep reading.
It was white with fake flowers and only leave one real flower in the garden to stand alone. So the lovely, strong, beautiful flower in my garden will always stand alone and for what is right and truth and spread love unconditionally and kindness and empathy every day.
So pretty. That's just so true and so heartfelt. And I love that. I love that you guys do that. I think that's the best thing in the world that anyone can do. I'm going to try to find it because I want to close this out in the end with that poem of yours and what we put to music and words. Your words, of course. But with that said, can you think of anything else you'd like to add while I look for that?
Oh, yes. So then
Please
also,
do.
My doctor called me up and he was like, because I was having those things in my body, right? And he's like, okay, go to a hospital with, I go, can I just go down to the Redmond, urgent care, get out, whatever. Right. No, you need to go to a hospital, a regular hospital. And I'm like, my intuition was like, why? Like, okay. So of course, stupid me, I was like, fine. I trusted, you trust your doctors, right? You're supposed to, you have faith in your doctors, right? So I had faith that I was like, okay, I'll be okay. I go into the ER. They're like, okay, hold on. They take me down to this like empty room with the bed in it and one chair. And then they had like the nurse's like computer there on way by the door. I asked him, I'm like, what, why, where's everything else? And I'm like, why don't I have a regular? And then they put a purple robe on me, a purple robe, not a blue and white dotty
Been there,
thing.
done that.
Yeah. And I'm like, what is this? And then they're like, oh, just take off your clothes and just sit there. And I'm like, we're gonna
So
do,
there's nothing else in the room, right?
yeah, nothing else. And I'm like, this is really
Yeah.
making me freak out, because I'm like,
Me too.
okay.
Yeah. It's a very scary feeling.
I'm like, what are you doing to me? I didn't authorize this. Like, I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna help me. I'm like, but you're not helping me. And then luckily I had videos on my phone from my bathroom experiences, and was showing the nurses, hey, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not hallucinating. I'm not delusional. I'm not on any drugs. So they made me do a drug test. They
Yeah.
did the COVID-19 testing thing, the thorough one. I mean, and then I was like, oh, we're waiting for your blood work to come. We're waiting for your test to come back. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, fine. And then
Do that
they like
too.
they walked me down to the bathroom. I felt like I was in jail, you know, because they like had the
Yeah,
nurses
they
like right
walked me to
outside
the
the,
bathroom, take your bra off, take your underwear. You
yeah.
couldn't have anything, no phone, and the
What is
room was
going
bare.
on?
It
I'm
was
like, I was bawling
terrifying.
my eyes out. I'm like, I thought
Yeah.
I was gonna get help. Instead, I feel like,
Degrading, dehuman,
yes.
like the word, like how dare them? How dare them? How
It was
dare them? And how dare my
horrifying.
family for allowing it and not ever even once standing up? And I don't know, I will never, ever forget what they did, right? I
Oh,
forgive,
never.
but you don't ever get to earn that trust or respect back from me ever. It's gone, right? You lose that in people and
Calling
humans.
CPS, calling CPS on my kids, trying to get rid of my. I'm like, really? I'm like,
3 times here. Yeah. It's
man.
bad. It hurts. I'm sorry you went
I'm
through
like,
that.
what is going on? I'm like, and how it happened was, it was my sister, my mom's birthday, or my sister's birthday, and then my mom and my sister went into into like the laundry room, and they were chatting by themselves to my daughter's like old gymnastics owner, and I'm like, I I see what's going on. Like, you can't
You
fool me.
knew. Yeah.
Like, and then the next day I get a knock on my door, and then they talk to my children in their school without my consent, and
Yeah.
then the next day I was like, you know, can you come over tomorrow? I'm not in my right headspace for this right now. Even though I was going
Yeah, trust
crazy.
me.
I
My
was
daughter
like,
was 9 and learned all about sex through CPS, like where the boy doll part, the girl. You want to talk about infuriating? Yeah. Feeling that pain. That's not fair, is it?
no. I was like,
Not
and then
fair.
they deny it, right? Oh, it's not. It's what we want to do. I'm like, yeah, you would, because you want my children, because I raised them with unconditional love and support that you never did to me. So
Yeah.
my kids are thriving and doing great, and you just did me like a piece of trash, and like,
Yeah.
you know, sorry. You like, and I go, if you're gonna offer to pay for my children's things, I'm holding you accountable. Like, you can't. And every time she tries and like, oh, skirts away, like, oh, I'm not gonna, and I'm like, no, you're gonna do it. I'm holding you
Yeah.
accountable. If you're gonna pay for this, you're gonna pay for it. If not, don't offer to pay for it. You know, I know you feel guilty about
Yeah.
something, but do not. And then come over to my house and then talk to my son in his ear, and like, just try putting a wedge between me and my children. Like, you
Yeah.
have no right to do that. Like, step off. Like, I put boundaries up and you just ignore them. It's horrible.
The pain, okay, so what I'm noticing too with all of us, like we all have this excruciating pain coming from families, and we all have different upbringings. I didn't really have a bad family. I had a loving family, what I remember. And you had a hard upbringing, and Candy Nelson had a tragic upbringing, and Sheila a hard upbringing, and I've been fortunate. So I mean, you know, like what I noticed is the behavior is not normal on all levels of whatever that upbringing was. Like, on in no way, shape, nor form should they ever treat us with what's going on. And that's how you know it is spiritual warfare, literally hardcore spiritual warfare, and Satan working overtime on the ones that are hardest to get. Because I mean, look, the rest of the world was pretty easy apparently. You know, except for the truthers on here, you know, they know what they're looking for. They're waking up. They're slowly, they're listening, you know, or they're wide awake, or they're more awake than me. But I think it's going to be come down to the point like either they're going to wake up or they're not. And we have to come to terms with the love for ourselves, the love God has for us, the love that we have for each other. And what you've gone through, my dear, you deserve so much better, and you know that. But what I
Oh,
know
yeah.
about you is you're strong and courageous, and they're weak, and you've already won that battle. In a
I mean, I got
secret little way,
I
you've
got
already won it.
I got kidnapped. I mean, my dad laughed at me. He was yelling at me in the car, and I'm like, "Oh, you're yelling at me because I got kidnapped?" I'm like, "I just had a horrific experience, and you're yelling at me like in the car on the way home." I'm like, I literally drove to our island cabin because that's the only place I thought of to go,
Oh
and
gosh.
the Lord got me there because I was barely on any gas, and I had nowhere else to go. And my dad's like, "Well, I called the cops, so if you would have got pulled over, you would have been arrested." And I'm like,
For
"I
what?
was kidnapped." I'm like, "I was kidnapped for one." I'm
Wow.
like, I was held against my will, slept on a hardwood floor.
Let me guess, a man, right?
Yep, yep. And I'm like, I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
ask
funny how
for it.
that happens.
I didn't ask for that.
No, well, I didn't
Where's
ask for
it?
the things that happened to me either.
I
From
mean,
my husband's best friend in high school, so that he could sleep with his wife, or blah blah blah. And yep, I just said that. And if you're listening, I'm talking to you because you raped me. Yeah, you know your
oh
name,
yeah,
David.
oh yeah. My mom's best friend's stepson raped me too for 5 hours, and then I'm like, and
Yeah,
then the
we
minute
go
I
through a
tell her,
lot, and nobody cares. Yes, and that's
and
not okay. I'm
I didn't ask for
sorry.
that, and I thought he was a
You didn't
brother,
deserve.
No, and my mom's like, "Oh, well, we believe him over you."
Of course, it's so much
I'm like,
easier.
and I don't want to lose, and I didn't want to lose my best friend. So and I was on my deathbed, and I'm telling my mom detail by detail what happened. I go, "No, you're gonna sit here and you're gonna listen to what I went through because I remember every little thing." I said, and apparently to you it doesn't matter, right? So it's just crazy, like
And
it's
it
just,
probably shocks you that they can't see what kind of pain would be behind that, right?
oh,
They
and I was
can't see
bawling my eyes. I
how
was
hard that would
bawling
be.
all the way home because I knew it. I was home past my curfew, and I knew if I even said anything, they're not going to believe me anyway. And then they didn't believe me anyway, and then they made me feel like crap about it anyway. And I'm like, he tortured me for 5 hours. I didn't ask for that. I didn't want that. I'm like, I thought he was a brother to me, and I treated him as one, but it was okay for him to do
You're a
that. Like,
sweet, loving, innocent-minded, good person, and it seems like those are always the ones that get taken advantage of. And trust me, not innocent. I mean, I was married to a man that was an alcoholic, and I joined him for a while. I am not perfect. When you fight someone so long about drinking or whatnot, you'll go too. Sometimes you'll do whatever it takes to just get on the same mentality because you get sick of fighting. But you, my dear, you were a good person all the way around, and you didn't stoop or go like to levels of to dehumanize yourself even. So I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Nobody deserves that. Nobody. And
it's
you know that.
horrifying. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you add these things like Morgellons or just the spiritual warfare part that comes upon us. And it seems like a lot of us, a big portion of us, if not the most of us, have lost everything or hit rock bottom or just literally their heart aches so bad, something happens so tragic in their lives that there is just nowhere else and no way up from there to go but up. But that's when the spiritual portion attacks. It's like something like Satan with his foot keeping on your head, like, no, you're staying down. You're not coming back up. But the greatest part of all is every one of you guys that I meet, you guys are like, oh, hell no, I am not. No, you're not. Get your foot off my head. I'm coming back up. And you want to fight? Hold on. I'm putting on my full armor and we'll go. So you are
Exactly.
such a warrior. You guys are all warriors. I'm going to play this song, and I'm going to have to cut this short tonight. And again, if I
Understand.
at all ever talk over, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
I kind of understand a lot of things, but I'm going to play your song or the poem. I think everyone should see that. The only reason I'm cutting it shorter tonight because I have surveillance that I got to do all day tomorrow too. And like 4 or 5 comes early, and I mean, I already feel like I cried most of the day. I'm an emotional wreck just from what happened with talking over people that or just like uninterrupted. If you want to go somewhere, it hurts, guys. It hurts. So be kind. Be kind and don't pretend like you don't know. Just be kind, right? Tell your family, don't pretend like you don't know why I'm hurt. Be kind. Because to everyone,
Exactly.
right?
Oh,
so I'm
yeah.
going to do this and we're going to listen to it and then we'll close out from there. But let me see if I can get it up right now. Wow, that sounded weird. But let me just play the song. Okay, I'm going to from here to. I'm getting a little better at this. I'm not much better. I'm not once was. So is that how that goes? Something like that. So I'm going to put this bigger. What means. I have no idea what that means. I'm going to make now. I'm in grade school. Sure, well, that's called Waking God's Child too. Hold on. All right, so this is on. Yes. That's not it. That's not it. Here we go. He's lucky, right? I always feel like I'm just lacking in so many ways. I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional videographer. I'm just not that girl.
Here at the Prince Review, we've long said that the SAT only tests your ability
on mastering the That was not it. So, did you guys like that one? Is a good short flick. Everyone did know. So that was not it. I'm gonna try again.
No.
In a
when they say, you know,
the
not
eastern
just try.
Canada, a modern
So not
superstructure
it.
takes
That,
shape.
nope.
The heaviest oil
It was
platform.
there. It was just up there. That's the weird part. I literally just
That's
had it
weird.
up. So, I mean, I don't know if you could see it when I had it. It said Garden of Toxic Flowers. So, I mean, I think I'm half brain dead and challenged, and Morgellons doesn't help the brain, does it? Okay, hold on. I'm going to try this again. So I got to get this all the way back up, and whatever I lost, I'm going to find again. With the exception of my brain, it's just not happening. Okay, I'm just gonna put this beautiful recommendation out. I encourage all of you guys to look for it. It's called Garden of Toxic Flowers, and it is on my YouTube channel. And I think Erica has a channel too, right? And it's on yours.
Yes,
also,
I do.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, so and I encourage all of you guys to go and check her channel out and support her, because that's what we're all here. We're supposed to be supporting each other and loving each other, and just,
I would appreciate it.
Yeah, and you guys, I mean, literally, and she writes beautiful, and she her heart's on there. You know, when you have someone's heart involved, I mean, you can't ask for anything more wholesome or pure or honest or worthy of watching when someone's heart is there. And I don't know what I just did again. I'm just trying hard here, but I'm going to try one more time. Oh, now it's waking. I don't even know what I took. There we go. Okay, so I am trying. I'm going to try one more time. And I go to videos because I want you guys to hear it. I mean, or listen to it, because I think I had captions, right? I don't think we actually has, like, I put your words to it.
Yeah.
And it's music, but I mean, the poem was beautiful, and she did read it to you guys. But I mean, just remember, this is someone's life and their feelings and their emotions, and it's raw, vulnerable realness. It's real, and that's the best part. It's not like, come be an actor, I'll give you like a bunch of money and you can just pretend like you care. No, like, she cares. Her heart's there. Like, we all care. So there's nothing better than that kind of raw, real feeling.
Yeah.
That's why we're all truthers, right? I mean, I'd like to think we are. I'm alternative history even. Try that on for size. That's an interesting one. I'm getting closer. Tell me if you see it, because I know it's coming up. Erica, I think it had, I just had it up. That's the part that kills me. I don't know what it did. I mean, it was just there, just like, and then I hit like, nope, you're not gonna, nope, you suck.
The devil just
there
doesn't want
it
it
is.
to be.
Okay.
Oh, yay. Okay.
It did it.
Okay,
Please
good.
don't touch anything, so when I touch things, they break, including humans, I guess. There we go.
The video not on.
Are you ready to
Don't go up though. My life hates me.
This time tomorrow we'll be on the road.
Okay.
Riding with you
Do
in the
this.
sunnier days.
Here we go.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
I think we did it. Is it up?
Yeah, it's up.
Yeah. gosh. Sorry. There we go. It needs to be bigger though. Well, at least I know where to find it. I'll see it for pack my bags. I'm ready to go. It's the service.
Taking
Doesn't make sense.
the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
You guys got to read the captions with it, but you know where it is now. Her poem with it's beautiful. Home is where that will be. But I carry that tune on in a bucket. I'll throw it out too with my tune sucks. This like kills me that every time we get on here, it will not play anything right. And everyone's like, connection's bad. It's like, no, we have Morgellons. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like we have. Well, I mean, when you have energy and other things in your body, you're gonna get interruptions with your transmission. Like your transmission is a transmission to the other transmission. So people making them understand that though is damn near possible. So you guys know, and that's hers. She wrote those words. And it's beautiful. I mean, brought tears to my eyes because I could feel emotion, just like I felt Candy's when she read me hers, and just like I feel Sheila's when she just talks to me because she talks to me with that emotion, and we all need. I didn't say that. I did not have a man voice. Just that was not me. And anyways, something's still talking, right? Story of my life. It's not me this time. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm literally sleep deprived too. Well, Erica, I'm so glad that you came on tonight, and I love your story. I love what you share, and please come back. I mean, I try to keep my feet fed, but duct tape. So, I mean, duct tape fix it all. It really works. So, exactly. All right. Well, I want you to keep your chin up and keep the smile that you have because I love it. You're always smiling, and it's a big smile. It's a heartfelt smile. So. That's it. Like, it's contagious. Yeah, you guys know smiles are contagious. All you gotta do is just go up to someone and one go, and just do that really awkward though. Either they're gonna run or they're gonna bust up laughing. Because I do it all the time, and they're like, "Oh, freaking crap's wrong with them." Like, hi, how you doing? But it works, and your smile is contagious. So,
thank you.
I live for love and happiness, and love is the answer. Love is the answer to all of this.
Love's the only answer. It's the only
greatest
answer.
of these is love, and you're right. Love is the answer to all of this. I mean, honestly, there's nothing else.
Is an illusion. Everything else is an illusion. So
and a lie, right? Yeah,
that
love
too.
is the answer, though. You're so correct. It is, and it's important and it's needed. And the hate, like nobody wants to feel that, and yet we find ourselves even acting like that sometimes. And that's Satan. We don't have to let him have free reign. I mean, trust me, I tried to last a little minute while. I was just like, no, but you didn't. And then it still comes out of my mouth. I'm like, oops, I said that again. So soap in the mouth.
I have to watch myself too. I have to watch.
I mean, it's hard. We're human. We're all human, and we try. We're not trying to be ugly, bad people. We want the best, but we are living in a world that is a challenge, and we've been conditioned to think bad things are okay too. So, but love is the answer, and forgiveness. Forgiveness is important. I need to find a lot of that for a lot of people in my life, and I'm working on that. And I do forgive. It's just hard to forget, right? So, but it's okay. We are survivors. Full armor, guys. Full armor. We're in the fight.
And the triggers too. The triggers.
What's that?
The triggers.
You betcha. Yeah. Yes. Triggers.
Never ending.
I had a list for that.
Me
I don't have
too.
enough paper. Not enough paper here, guys. I mean, anyone want to take notes? Just kidding. All right, girly. I love you, and you get some
Love you
rest, and
too.
we will do this again.
You too.
And yeah, love,
Nice to meet
forgiveness,
everyone.
and
Thank you all for
sleep,
coming.
baby. Yeah.
Thank you for the
you for being
support.
on, Erica. Thank you. Honestly, thank you guys. I appreciate you always, and I'm trying every day to be better at this. So bear with me. God's not finished with me yet. He's probably kicked me a few times to the curb, and all right, come back one more time. But Erica, you're
Unconditional,
blessed.
unconditional
You're
love all the
blessed.
way. Like,
you. Sorry, I'm still laughing at earlier when we were talking about. But we were talking about, man, we lost all of our dignity when we're talking about the stuff in the toilet stuff here, like from the windows to the floor to the sweat, whatever that stuff is. But we still have it. We still have it. It's okay. The dignity's not lost. It's just a little corrupt. That's all. That's all. It's not a big deal at all. So, all right,
Exactly.
sweetie. I love you. And
Okay,
everyone
love
else,
you too.
Love you. And see you soon.
Thank
See you.
you.
Would want to be
Mwah.
you, not would